what I thought was a win for the creators this week. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but Dave Chappelle dropped another 10-minute special on that ass, um,
Mhm.
live and direct from his own platform, Lex Bub, and and updated on his status because he did catch COVID in the midst of continuing to host socially distant shows, and that was a really big win for some of the haters that didn't like how bro was just moving and sort of wagging his finger at people. Um, and he did the Dave thing in regards to that, his own experience. And then he also proceeded to let us know what took place, what was the fallout of his last uh IGTV special. This motherfucker's doing 6 million views on IGTV. You got to be kidding. Um, I'll say how I feel, but I want to hear from the two of you. How did y'all feel hearing Dave say that he got, not only did he get his name back, his likeness back, he got his show back, he got his IP back, and got some cash.
The greatest, man. The greatest that some people are just great as far as like if you just look at the timeline of what Dave did. So this goes back to leaving the show. So that's what was that, 13, 14 years with
Yeah.
with a 12-year hiatus of like there being no semblance of Dave. You'll see a pop up every once in a while after being gone for a few years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like there's the timeline of what all the way to what coming to this moment. Like people can probably just like surmise it to just this moment, that 10-minute piece or whatever. But up to that moment, hey, it's mastery on betting on yourself, um, and sticking to like what your values are, no matter what. You know what I mean? Like and also we can't undermine how great of a storyteller Dave is.
Hmm.
Because if he wasn't so good at storytelling, then there's no fucking way that he was gonna get what he just got.
Yeah.
Like he has an amazing way of connecting to individuals in his crowds, which then goes out, when he shoots these videos, it's connecting to even more people. But it's something that it touches the individual, the the little man, I guess, against the machine. Like he touches that chord,
Yeah.
and it was effective. Like I didn't know if it was gonna work. I couldn't say that I couldn't guarantee that it would work,
Hmm.
because you know how networks are,
Yeah.
but strong on that shit. So impressive.
Bub, as a creative, what'd you feel?
What was his quote? Cowards rejoice when a hero falls.
Mm.
That alone, I was like El said, his ability to tell stories, it's like untouched.
Yeah.
Like it's like it was El that said he's past being a stand-up comedian now.
Hmm.
Like if it was like back in the 1800s with kings and knights, he would be the dude that the king calls up and he just tells these huge ultimate stories. Then the king just gives him half of his gold and he leaves town.
Yeah, what Lex is talking about is like if anybody's seen A Knight's Tale, the guy that goes up before to introduce like the knight coming out, like the
Hmm.
one that gets the crowd ready for, and this is how you draw the crowd to the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
does an amazing job of that shit. But go ahead, Lex, my man.
Nah. Thank you, El. And man, as a creator, like with the first 20-minute one, and he's like explaining his deal and how they can take your name, take everything forever. And nobody usually gets that back. And then for him to come back after everybody was talking about, oh, he got sick and this and that, like, and then he's like, oh, you guys are laughing at that, but this is what I did.
Hmm.
What are you motherfuckers gonna do now?
Hmm.
The callback being coward, uh, touches folks,
Yeah.
because like it the separation as well. So he like did a backhanded compliment to everyone. You know what I mean? Like it was impressive, like how it came across. You know what I mean? Because he's basically saying that yes, I caught COVID and I was working during a pandemic while you were at the house. I get it. You're better than me. You know what I mean? Like, of course you're better than me in this instance. But I effectively am still here, and effectively is still getting things done. Like I didn't stop doing things in the process while y'all stopped doing things. And now look, like what's the separation on like how that's going to affect you for years to come. It's kind of like the idea behind it, but hey man, what can I say? I did fuck with the whole the end of the now effectively like it was a pleasure doing business with you. You know what I mean? Like that's some powerful shit, bro.
Yeah. So I woke up this morning. Based on we've been having great conversations the whole time we've been down. But per how we ended the night last night was just amazing. But the first thought in my brain this morning was, holy fuck. It'll be 10 years for Brave Area here soon. But what we've been doing over this whole time is like paying out of pocket or taking losses on a lot of things that we put together. And just for clarity's sake, what's going to happen? Because I'm telling everybody who listens to the show, and what's going to happen is one day everything's gonna work, and niggas are gonna go, "Oh, that shit was overnight," and I'm gonna go, "No." we're at almost 150 episodes of a podcast that niggas nobody's getting paid for. We got almost 10 independent albums. I got my first ASCAP check fucking yesterday or some shit like that. You know, like, and it was for pennies basically. But the point being is that as creatives, the IP. Hey, Coach. You see, you do call on purpose for the podcast. Say hi to the guys. Wait, but then act like she did it on accident. Mom, you not slick. You busted it.
No, I'm with Grandma. I promise you.
Well, Grandma, say something to the podcast.
Say something to the podcast.
Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day. Love everybody.
Love you, G.
Love.
Thanks. All right, we're going back to have church service.
Wait, y'all having church service at home?
Yeah, we're watching church service. Revival got it going on in worship.
This morning scared me. Amani,
Haji.
your mom came to bless me, but she scared me first. I heard the front door opening, and I'm in the bed, right?
You thought somebody was breaking in the joint?
Yes. So I'm gonna get a security system today.
She watched Friday After Next and thought it was Ricky Smiley. Okay, love you.
Like, bye.
Bye.
Oh man. I love them. Just the IP, the investment, and and what value it holds, and why a company would take your likeness, literally your likeness, like your name, like that man's name, a show that you and your collaborative partner created, pitched to multiple platforms, only to have it loop all the way around and them want it. The same companies you pitched to. And this is a conversation I've been having for fucking almost a decade, you guys. To where I walked into meetings, played particular records, for them to go, that ain't it. For us to independently release the record, to run into them same motherfuckers I played that record, them to go, yo, that's that shit. It's like, fam, I played you that shit 6 months ago. you know, and this ain't a big yourself up thing. This is solely a win for the creatives, because what you're up against oftentimes the people who dictate the money, who dictate if you land a deal, you land on a platform, whatever. What you're up against is a lot of motherfuckers who don't have the wherewithal to put it together like you do. I'm on the verge of carving out a whole brand new fucking position that ain't never been done before, just on the simple fact that I can fucking complete a project. G.
Mm.
No more, no less. We could need the lead the subjective shit to the motherfuckers who got time to sit online and debate what's good or not. But I'm the nigga who can start something and finish it, and that alone puts me in a unique class. Now, get to it being dope every time you put something together. Now you saying something, and when somebody as brilliant and who literally is moving in the spirit of like, I love this shit, but I also come from something that's rich and potent that I want to share with the world because they never experienced it before. I resonate with that so heavy, because a lot of times when people are going, it's like, yo man, you look like you having fun. Like, nigga, I be with my day ones for real. Like my best friends I'm blood related to. How many motherfuckers can say that? The niggas who inspire me the most, I share blood with. Me and this nigga freak took baths together, fam. Like, what are we doing? Who can beat that? You know what I'm saying? And so when you see Dave, that's what I'm resonating with. When I see Dave, when I see Joe Rogan, you see some real ones winning. You know what I'm saying? And salute to Dave, because that's a really big fight. People have been calling him crazy. He walked away. He walked away from 40 million, y'all. How many of us could do that and bet on ourselves and bet on just your principle and knowing better? And he said it. He's like, nigga, I was down. You know how crazy everybody looking at you for walking away from 40 million? And I fuck the fans. I'm talking about your family and your friends. And the people that were dependent upon you to earn are looking at you like you done lost your fucking mind. You done ruined it for everybody. You going, nah, I know better. I know better. I know better. I just need a lifeline, but I know better. I need a lifeline, but I know better. I need a lifeline, but I know better. You know, it is a truly encouragement for the creatives to keep going. I don't know where somebody need to hear this shit. If you are on the verge of quitting, but you know you sitting on some shit and you know this shit was meant for you, there's something or someone out there that can get you a lifeline to the next thing, until you have your moment where you go and it was a pleasure doing business with you, for real. Um, that shit moved me, bro. I watched it a few times just because, like, specifically where I'm at right now. Like, I talk about it on the show all the time, from the podcast. The podcast is 144. The pod is at 144. Grand National Radio is at episode 20. Solo albums, I'm at 4, I think. And then the collaborative albums is another 5. So I'm approaching to like the amount of IP that's just been run through the system that is fucking Monty Draper, bro, is getting ridiculous in the best of ways. But holding on as a means to not be holed out, not to have my likeness taken because of what this is because of what Dave sacrificed. This is because of what Dame, Hove, and Biggs did. This is watching Ye post his fucking contract and piss on his Grammys. Like, nigga, I could have been signed one of them deals. It's all kind of street niggas going, hey man, we give you this, that, but we want all your publishing. You won't starve. You better get a chain. You better get a car. You better get some fly shit, but you will own you. I could have signed that shit back in literally 2011. Could have did that. So it's a fight, but it's a fight worth having, especially when you see real niggas win for real. So that was dope.